Now, stepping a little away from tariff and Trump, let's talk about the domestic economy. Rural consumption has sort of outpaced urban consumption. There has been a sort of slowdown in urban consumption, but at the same time, rural consumption, rural economy is doing pretty well. Now, while this is a positive development, it is something that the policymakers will be pretty happy about. But the slowdown in urban consumption, how would that really impact the economy? What do you have to say about this?
So again, remember that the rural urban consumption stories in India are to a certain extent derived estimates from various secondary, tertiary indicators. Rural wages is cited to be one of the major indicators which indicate rural consumption. And we use the corporate India's, the listed companies' numbers on salaries, growth in salaries, as one indirect indicator of urban consumption. I'm sure the story is more complicated than that. But assuming that that narrative is correct, and we know for a certain fact that rural consumption from the HCES surveys, the household consumption expenditure surveys, is almost as large as the urban consumption. So that is good news that if rural consumption actually improves. And given the fact that our rains are forecast to be good, reservoir levels are supposed to be good, that's a good sign for overall rural demand. But there are two other factors on the rural side which is a cause for worry. One, the good news is that rural inflation, which had been fairly high in 2024-25, is beginning to come down, has already come off significantly. But the other side is that the terms of trade from the rural, so what farmers can earn via higher prices of agricultural produce, that too has begun to come down. So I don't know how the interplay works. Government expenditures in the rural areas, growth in government expenditures, that has begun to come down. But on the urban side, which is as big as the rural consumption numbers, the problem is that salaries, which is again an indirect number based on the growth of salaries and wages from the listed companies, that has remained flat. I'm still waiting to see if there's some improvement in the Q2 numbers for this year. But these are things that need some analysis. What kind of impacts the growth of GCCs, the global consumer centers, can make in this entire thing is something that we need to see. But I mean, I definitely, you are correct that I mean this needs some policy intervention across various policy things, fiscal, industrial, manufacturing, etc. So this does need policy intervention.